Just a quick domain video. Oh dear. It just makes me laugh. This is my personal thing. I've got domains, I can't sell domains for talking right now. But a domain is just sold yesterday. Now, the day before, this week just gone, last few days, a domain is just sold for $2 million, which is about £1.5 million, which I said in my previous video. It's not even been a day since then. Another domain has sold, and this will have gone for more than $1 million, purely because of the broker that sold it. The broker has made it clear that it's been brokered, it's been sold, so it's been sold. They don't sell cheap, and there's no need to sell cheap because there's enough buyers that will pay £1 million plus for the good quality oneword.coms. The price has not been made known, but it's a oneword.com, and I'm almost certain it's sold for more than $1 million. I don't know how much. It's worth, in my opinion, the domain name is worth well in excess of £5 million. It's a oneword.com. A 6-letter word.com. And it's on the internet. Brokers tweet it. Same broker was a broker that sold, everyone knows about Zoom, don't they? Zoom. In the UK, Zoom used to be advertised on the radio in the UK as Zoom.us. It's not now, it's Zoom.com. Because Zoom paid $2 million to buy Zoom.com website address. Oneword.coms are getting a bit pricey. But then again, there is also, I buy domains for £5, £10, my sort of budget, yeah. I've got the world's biggest budget. And only when I can afford it. But there's investors now that have sold companies for big dough, and they are buying oneword.coms, and there's people out there now, two-letter.coms, two-letter.coms, and two-number.coms. There's buyers, there's investors that will pay £1 million plus for them, because all I've got to do is just pay 10 years at .com price, which is about £100, yeah, for the 10-year extension, and just wait for the value of them to go up. They're scarce, they're rare. Like two-letter.coms, there is only 486 two-letter.coms, which means if you've got a two-letter.com, businesses are going to have this much of them, and there is only that much left to buy. Which means if you own these and you're sitting on them, they're going to increase in value because more people want them. But there's not enough to go around. And that's domain names for you. The best domain names sell for the best money. And so already, this is it, and I think the broker that's just sold this 6letter.com has sold a rare 3letter.com recently. And that price hasn't been made known, I don't think. And that won't have gone for less than $1 million. So although we've only got 2 domains that we know have gone for over £1 million, if you look on dnjournal.com, you can look at year to date, and it'll show you the 2 domains that have sold for £1 million plus. But there's there's a few more that have sold for, that I think have sold for a few million. And there was a few more at the end of last year, at the end of 2020, that have sold for more than $1 million. But we don't know the prices of those that sold last year. probably no coincidence that Bitcoin went off the scale last year. I can't remember, but someone said, I can't, without looking at the prices, the price. I'm sure Bitcoin was only about $4,000 or $5,000 last year, beginning of last year, and it went up to 60,000 in the same year. So there's people that have invested in Bitcoin that have made 12 times. It's like having a house and making 12 times the price of your house in 1 year. And there's a lot of people now that are sitting on a lot of Bitcoin. But then if you sell Bitcoin, what are you going to buy? A house will not increase 12 times in a year. Domain names have the opportunity to do that. So Bitcoin, it's almost like free money. They've made the free money effectively by buying Bitcoin in the first place. But then if they use that profit to buy the most premium oneword.coms in the world, it's virtually costing them nothing to do so. There's only two real assets, and they're both digital. I think you might be able to take Bitcoin to a bank now. I think banks might recognise it. Although, to be fair, they're only about 11 years behind the times. They probably still don't recognise Bitcoin now. They don't recognise domain names. So, and they've been about for 35 years. So I wouldn't give the banks that much of time. They've distanced themselves from the public by about 35 years behind the times. So, but the problem is that I'm looking at the time. See on the video how much time I've got to finish the video. But when you've got an asset, digital asset like Bitcoin, which it is now, you can buy a lot of things with Bitcoin anywhere in the world. To sell Bitcoin, and it's not even at it's around about £45,000 a Bitcoin at the moment. So it's gone from 3.5p in 2010, approximate, to 45,000 in 2011. 11 years. It's got the potential, because all it's going to want is like someone like Elon Musk to say he's bought another couple of billion of Bitcoin, and everyone thinks, oh, I must buy Bitcoin. There's not enough to go around. So, and all that's going to happen is the price is going to go up. But to sell Bitcoin with the potential that it is, what asset do you buy that has the same potential as Bitcoin? Bitcoin's got a price. You just ask Google what Bitcoin price is, and Google tells you what it is. Domain name's got a price. It's whatever you want to sell it for. So you just buy the best premium assets of all the. I'm not saying to buy. I'm just saying that people are buying. Investors are buying the most premium oneword.coms and two-letter.coms and two-number.coms as investments. £100 to extend it for 10 years and just wait and see where make a profit on the investment. And then you need a broker, and the broker will just negotiate a deal for a percentage of commission. But Bitcoin must be buying, so they'll shift from Bitcoin to domain names, and all that'll do is just force the value of domain names through the roof. Right. That's just where I see it anyway. But to get 2 multi-million-pound domain name sales within about 3 or 4 days, and we're still in the last 6 months. There must have been at least 10 that have sold for over $1 million. 10. I'd probably say near 20 domain names that have sold for over $1 million. Just that we don't know the prices of a lot of them, but they were $1 million domain names, £1 million domain names that have been sold. All good fun, eh? Right. Things to do today. After making some decent money on my practice account in day trading, I must get back to looking for work for £10 an hour. Right? You couldn't make my situation pretty tired. It was fun.